Good evening. Welcome to this episode of Ziggy's Workshop. In today's episode, I had wanted to come up with a way to mount my 6-inch bench grinder to my Workmate 425. I came up with this idea. Not only should this work with a bench grinder, this should work with a chop saw or even a tabletop planer or tabletop jointer. Here's what I came up with as a means to mounting this this bench grinder to this Workmate 425. What I did was I mounted my bench grinder to a 3/4 inch piece of plywood using the available mounting holes that are in the grinder itself. I drilled holes through the plywood to correspond with the holes in the grinder. Used 1/4 20 bolts. I countersunk the heads, and I ran them up and through and bolted them down with nuts and a little bit of Loctite on the nuts at where the bolts intersect. The other thing that I did, and I'll explain why in a moment, is I rounded both edges of the 3/4 inch plywood. Everything that I do when I'm making a jig or a fixture, I put at least 2 coats, if not 3 coats, of polyurethane on the wood in an effort to preserve the work that I've done and to protect the wood for in the future for getting oils and grease and things like that on it. So I cut this piece of wood to fit exactly between 4 sets or 4 of the bench dogs, 2 here and 2 in the back corners, both one here and one over here. Now when I tighten up on the clamps of the 425, 2 things happen. One, I of course get the clamping power this way, but because of the rounded edges that I created on the board, the V grooves that are inside of the bench dogs here grab right on that edge. And when you tighten up against it, the V grooves, the curves in the board are getting pinched by those V grooves and makes for a very sturdy mount. This is not going anywhere. So I'm confident that when I'm grinding, or if I put a chop saw on, or I put my jointer on here, it's not going to shift when I have these tightened down and I'm trying to use the machine. It's not going to come lifting off. It's not going to twist. It's not going to rock. And you want, when you're doing grinding or using any other tools, you want a rock solid base. I believe that this is almost as good as bolting it straight to the table, but I did not want to have to go through bolting down every time I wanted to change the tool that I'm using on the Workmate 425 at that time. As always, thank you for your time. If you like this video, you like my ideas, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And as always, have fun with your projects and have a great day.